further ado, I would like to introduce Dr. Nagaraj Paturi Garu, the Senior Director and Chief Curator of INDICA, who will be presenting the welcome address and also speak on the idea of Abhinava Gupta, Ancient Indian Paradigm for Multidisciplinary Humanities. Trained in Sanskrit and Advaita Vedanta by his hyper-polyglot, polymath and spiritually accomplished Sakala Shastra Parangat father, Dr. Paturi is seriously committed to the transmission of Vedic sciences to the present generation. In his PhD thesis, he developed an Indic model of myth criticism of literature, and in his MPhil, he foregrounded Vakya Padya as the theoretical foundation of the Ashtadhyayi. In addition to over 50 publications and about 60 conferences, seminar, workshop papers, Dr. Paturi has designed several courses pertaining to the contemporary applications of Vedic sciences and has been successfully teaching them and getting them taught. Formerly Senior Professor of Cultural Studies, Flame School of Communication, and a visiting professor, University of Chicago, Dr. Paturi is currently Senior Director and Chief Curator at INDICA, a distinguished professor, curriculum designer, Executive Committee member, Board of Studies, MIT School of Vedic Sciences, and member Board of Studies at Kavi Kulguru Kalidasa Sanskrit University. He is also the Editor-in-Chief of International Journals of Studies and Public Leadership and is a member of the Advisory Council of Veda Vigyana Shodh Samsthanam. He's provided consultancy to numerous cultural research, theatre, and dance innovation projects. He's authored scores of creative writing works from classical dance, modern theatre, and magazines, and has delivered several series of talks and other programs on radio and television channels. I request Nagaraj Paturi Garu to deliver the welcome address. Nagaraj.
Angikam bhuvanam yasya Vachikam sarvavamayam Aharyam chandrataradi Tam vande satvikam shivam. Dimpleji has given a beautiful introduction to INDICA and its activities. I welcome all the distinguished scholars who have joined us in celebrating Abhinava Gupta Pada Acharyaha. We are so lucky that we have such stalwarts like Professor Navjeevan Rastogi ji and sadhaka teachers like Professor Ramakant Angiras ji and Balaji George Parse ji and all other distinguished scholars. Suntar Vishwalingam ji from Chicago. I think he has not yet joined, but he is going to join. Most of them are already connected to me. We gave the title Abhinava Gupta, a paradigm of ancient Indian paradigm for multidisciplinary humanities. My purpose now is only to explain the title, why we called the symposium an ancient Indian paradigm of multidisciplinary humanities. Let me start with the word humanities. This word obviously comes from the contemporary university classifications of disciplines. And I see a misunderstanding and a lack of understanding on the part of many common public, common people with regard to this particular jargon like humanities and other university groupings of disciplines. They just try to imagine whatever is connected to humans is humanities or something like that. But it's not so. You have to actually get into the university system and the classification of various university disciplines into what they call, in some universities, the system is faculty. They call it faculty of arts, faculty of sciences and faculty of something else. And in most universities in nowadays, worldwide, they are using the word school. School of sciences, or school of life sciences, or school of mathematical sciences, school of social sciences, school of humanities. And within this faculty or school, they have a division called departments. Under a school, you get, for example, if there is a school of life sciences, you have a department of botany, you have a department of zoology, and so on. Similarly, if it is a school of social sciences, you have departments of political science, department of sociology, department of economics, and so on. And you have under what is called a school of humanities, departments weirdly with the names of languages. There will be a department of English, department of Telugu, department of Tamil, department of Sanskrit, and usually department of philosophy is thrown into the school of humanity. And poorly, the department of history is always in a very ambiguous position, whether it is to be put under school of humanities, faculty of humanities, or under social sciences. Why this? If we look at the history of university disciplinary divisions, in the beginning, during 19th century and early 20th century also, there was a categorization called arts. It was so wide that even what we call sciences today, physics, chemistry kind of disciplines also, were grouped under arts only at that time. So, for example, my own mantra guru had a BA in chemistry. He was a chemistry honors, but it was called a Bachelor of Arts degree at that time. So there was an MA in physics or MA in chemistry also at that time. But gradually they started bifurcating the whole bunch of arts into sciences and then arts. What we today call social sciences and humanities all together were left, I should use the word left, in arts, while the what we call sciences today got into an elevated position called science, faculty of sciences. And then physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, mathematics, all this, they went into sciences, I should say elevated. And then came the next level called arts. And political science, sociology, all these went into arts. And these departments are with the names of languages like Department of English, Department of Hindi, Department of Sanskrit, they all went into arts. And after some time, these departments like political science, sociology, economics, anthropology, etc., they started claiming this science status and they started calling themselves social sciences. And then they got elevated to the second level, from the sciences to the second level social sciences. The lowermost position was left to humanity. So the word sciences is there in the sciences, basic sciences or hard sciences. The word sciences is there in social sciences also. So whatever does not have a science name got into humanities. So what humanities means is non-sciences. Basically, humanities are all non-sciences. Okay, is English a discipline? Sanskrit a discipline? Tamil or Telugu a discipline? No, it's the name of a language. Others like political science, sociology, physics, chemistry, they're all disciplines. But here you have the name of a language as the department of that discipline, but it's not a discipline in fact. So when the sciences people look at all these, they get a feeling that, oh, these are not disciplines at all. What is English? What is Sanskrit? What is Hindi? What is Tamil or Telugu? What are these? These are not disciplines at all. But That is why they look to be non-sciences. But what happens is, in my own experience, I studied in the department of Telugu studies. So when you get into that department, you begin to see that your teacher is teaching you Alankara Shastra. Your teacher is teaching you linguistics. Your teacher is teaching you Vyakarana Shastra. These are Shastras. But the others on the university campus, they do not know that it is a Shastra that you are studying here. It is a highly rigorous discipline. Vyakarana Shastra is a discipline. Alankara Shastra is a discipline. And they do not know this. Poorly, unfortunately, the Department of Philosophy, the name philosophy is there in the titles of Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Philosophy, etc., for all other departments, including the science department. But the Department of Philosophy, which lies dumped into humanities, that is non-sciences, is looked down upon so poorly that people even do not realize that originally they were all philosophy people. That is why their degrees even today are called doctors of philosophy and masters of philosophy. And like king of kings, philosophy is the science of sciences. It is only in the department of philosophy that logic is studied as a discipline. There is a professor of logic inside of department of philosophy. And if you look at the seminars, symposiums, and conferences and classroom teachings of philosophy department, the most rigorous teaching happens inside the department of philosophy only, not anywhere inside the university campus. But philosophy department is non-sciences, humanities. And probably all this happened because of prioritization of empirical studies, laboratory studies, mathematics, application of mathematics to the discipline. So if there is no application of mathematics, throw it out. No laboratory, throw it out. No empirical study, if it is only speculative, throw it out. But the professors of humanities and the students of humanities do not go out and tell the science people that they are studying Alankara Shastra, they are studying Vyakarana Shastra, they are studying many Shastras inside those departments, which are more rigorous than the so-called science departments. INDICA has taken it upon itself to take this as a movement all over the world, as a global movement, to tell the world that humanities are they should not be studied as department of a language. All these departments have to be reorganized as department of Alankara Shastra, department of Vyakarana Shastra, department of Darshanas, and so on. And then people would know that they are not studying a language or literature, they are studying Shastras, which help to study these languages and literature. Then they would know that there is a rigorous study inside these departments. So in future, these what is being called as humanities have to be called as human sciences, if at all, or human shastras. But for a worldwide communication, let us use the word sciences. So these are all human sciences. Science of grammar, science of language, science of literature, science of poetics, science of natya, science of sangeeta, science of chitra lekhana, science of shilpa, science of sthapatya, science of vastu, all these. Now, let me come to the word paradigm. We are calling Abhinava Gupta Pada a polymath, Bahumukha Prajnashali, Bahushastra Vid, we are calling him. But were there not many polymath scholars, whether it was in Greece, ancient Greece, which is the only comparable part of the world to our Indian ancient knowledge system, Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, or any of those scholars. Or within India itself, we have examples like Bhoja. He was also a Bahumukha Prajnashali. The areas he covered were also of multiple uh, focus areas. So, if there is a Bahumukha Prajnashali, is it called paradigm? No, because if you look at all the works of Bhoja, starting from Vastu Shastra to Ayurveda to culinary sciences to Ashwalakshana to Alankara Shastra to Vyakarana to Yoga, there is no consistent theoretical framework with which he goes into all these disciplines. He covers these disciplines, is very admirable. His polymath nature is very admirable. His Bahumukha Prajna is very admirable. For that matter, interdisciplinarity was always admired in India, always uh, uh, achievable, thought considered to be achievable in India. प्रज्ञा विवेकं लभते भिन्नैरागमदर्शनैः कियद्वा शक्यमुन्नेतुं स्वतर्कमनुधावता is 5th century Vakyapadiyam. So you had this approach of uh, you have to be learned in different shastras if your intellect has to acquire wisdom. Prajna vivekam labhate. That was always there. And you can see that Bhartrihari was drawing from Mimamsa, drawing from Nyaya, drawing from different Shastras when he was articulating his Vyakarana Darshana. But that is not the point. If you have to call it a paradigm, you have examples, for example, in Alankara Shastra, what people usually call Kavyatma Siddhantas, Kavyatma theories, Auchitya, Dhvani, or Riti, you have Alankara. Some people use the words prasthana for them. There is Auchitya Prasthana. What happens in all these models is that one single concept of poetics, Auchitya, for example, propriety or matchingness, is unity of art. Professor Raghavan, in his article on history of Auchitya, he uses the word unity for Auchitya. So whatever English word you use it, Auchitya was there, for example, in Anandavardhana only, already in Dhanyaloka itself. Anauchityadrate Rasabhangasya Karanam is already there. So Auchitya was already a concept, but Kshemendra is making it a paradigm. What it means is that all other concepts, whether it is Alankara, Riti, Vrittipaka, Guna, Shaya, or Dhvani, or any other concept, they are all brought under this framework of Auchitya. That is why it is being called as Jivitam. Kavyasya Jivitam, it is being called. You take Vakrokti, what is happening is that Vakrokti is being made a paradigm. Vakrokti is not a single concept. If you want to call Vakrokti as a single concept, it was there already among Alankaras. The word Vakrokti was not new. It was not coined by Kuntaka for his Vakrokti Jivitam. But what Kuntaka is doing in Vakrokti Jivitam is he is making Vakrokti as a paradigm. He is making all other concepts of Alankara Shastra merging to his concept of Vakrata. For example, Shabdalankaras merge into Varna Vinyasa Vakrata. Arthalankaras merge into Vakya Vaichitrya Vakrata. Kavya Dhvani Angirasa merges into Prabandha Vakrata. And Prakarana wise Angirasa of a Prakarana merges into Prakarana Vakrata. So you are doing, you are creating a new paradigm out of one of the existing concepts called Vakrata, and a totally new version of that Vakrata is being created, a new paradigm is being. So that way, within Alankara Shastra, within poetics, you already have a paradigm building exercise happening. You are taking one single concept and you are making that an overarching concept, an umbrella concept for all other concepts, and all other concepts are getting merged into this concept. So, is this what Abhinava Gupta also did? Is this what we are saying about Abhinava Gupta? Which of the Alankara Shastra concepts he took and made it an Alankara Shastra paradigm? No. Beauty of Abhinava Gupta's academic exercise is not just that he is creating a new Alankara paradigm, a new Kavyatma theory. Beauty is, unlike Bhoja and other Bahumukha Prajnashalis, he is taking one single philosophical concept of Trika and taking it into the other Shastras that he covered, whether it is Natya Shastra, Sangeeta Shastra as part of Natya Shastra, the Sangeeta portions of Natya Shastra, or Kavya Shastra, Shravya Kavya Shastra, I should say, because Tantraloka is covering Shravya Kavya Shastra. So he is taking his Trika ideas into his Lochana, a commentary to Tantraloka. So he is taking the Trika philosophical foundations into Abhinava Bharati, into the various concepts of Natya, including the pivotal rasa aspect. And the same thing is happening in what is already a paradigm. Dhanyaloka is already a paradigm building exercise by Anandavardhana. And in that paradigm building exercise, the beauty is Anandavardhana, let us all remember, is already bringing Trika into Dhanyaloka. That is why actually among all the Alankara Shastra works, of all the works, Abhinava Gupta chooses only Anandavardhana's Dhanyaloka because the foundations of Trika application to Alankara Shastra happened already in Dhanyaloka. And that is why he creates a Lochana, Aloka. The word Aloka is so relishable for Abhinava Gupta. He uses for his magnum opus also the word Aloka, Tantraloka. And that seems to be a beautiful word for even Anandavardhana. That is why he is calling it Dhanyaloka. And for Aloka, what you need is Lochana, and he is creating that Lochana. And that Lochana is coming from Abhinava Gupta's application of Trika theory through Lochana to Shravya Kavya analysis. So he is the one who is actually doing the application of the Trika, not just philosophical system, it is a spiritual practice system also. So the beauty of this is that as long as you are into pure, say, Hamaha's Alankara Prasthana, or Riti Prasthana, or Kshemendra's Auchitya Prasthana, the original Vaidika beauty in Rigveda or Yajurveda, in the Brahmarshis, among the Drashtas, you had this merger of aesthetics as a spiritual practice. Actually, all the Brahmarshis were poets. Non-Rishik Purite Kavyam is our vision. And Brahmarshi is the best Kavi. So they are all, it is aesthetics of nature taken to its extreme that created the mantras. The mantras were visioned by the Brahmarshis that way. So that spiritual practice, the inward practice, as alankara, as poetry, was not brought out so well by the previous alankarikas, but that was possible only from Anandavardhana to Abhinavagupta, and by the application of Trika in Abhinava Bharati to Natya Shastra and the other portions of Natya Shastra, remaining portions of Natya Shastra, that a paradigm of Trika, a single paradigm of Trika, was used for all the areas of humanities. Nowadays, in the university system, they don't place Sangita Shastra or Natya Shastra also under humanities. They are given a separate school called School of Fine Arts and Performing Arts. But actually, they deserve a place in the same group. The Alankara Shastra, Natya Shastra, Sangita Shastra, all these deserve a single grouping. So, in that grouping of humanities, for all these areas of humanities, for all these areas of human sciences, a single Trika theory of both philosophy and inward spiritual practice. It is just not a philosophical school. There are talks today which are going to argue for the status of Trika as a philosophical system, and there are going to be talks today which try to show how it is actually an inward practice rather than a philosophical system. But it is such a comprehensive system. All the shortened versions of Tantraloka were developed by Abhinava Gupta himself, but it is a 37 chapter huge work, so comprehensive, and that is taken into all these various areas. There were studies which showed that Dhvanyaloka actually draws from Spota theory of Vakyapati. But attention is not paid to the fact that Abhinava Gupta himself wrote a Vivarana for the Padartha Padakanda of Vakyapadiyam. It's not available today, but we know that he has done it. And there is a Prakirnaka commentary also of Abhinava Gupta. So the connection between Shabda Brahmopasana, Spota theory of Vakyapadiyam, and Dhvanyaloka and Lochana was touched upon by people. But that connection of Shabda Brahmopasana of Vakyapadiyam to the Trika theory, the Shaiva theory, the Tantra theory has to be paid attention much better. Linguistics as a spiritual practice is Tantra. For me, that's what my father taught me, that linguistics as a spiritual practice is what is Tantra altogether. So that model of linguistics as a philosophy, linguistics as a spiritual practice, and that being taken into the various other shastras like Natya Shastra, Alankara Shastra, through Abhinava Bharati and through Lochana, and creating a single paradigm of philosophy and spiritual practice for all the different shastras into which he entered, Abhinava Gupta entered, is the beauty of Abhinava. Unlike the other Bahumukha Prajnashalins, unlike the other Bahushastriya Shastrins of his time, who entered into different shastras but not a single paradigm of theoretical framework was taken by that particular scholar into different shastras, whereas Abhinava Gupta is doing this. Abhinava Gupta is taking this everywhere. For example, if you come to the Abhivyaktivada, the title that is given to his Rasa Nishpatti Sutra, how rasa emerges in the audience. Actually, not only Rasa Nishpatti Sutra, where Rasam Yannishtam is another question. So even there, that it lies in the audience, that it is an awakening. Both these theories, which are now very well established, are contributions by Abhinava Gupta. They are coming from what in contemporary parlance, in contemporary philosophy, is called rationalist or naturalist epistemology, where the idea of innate knowledge, in contrast to empiricist theory, empiricist epistemology, where knowledge is considered to be empirical, coming from nurture, culture, rather than innate by birth, is what is contributing to Abhivyaktivada in Rasa Nishpatti in Abhinava Gupta. So that is innate knowledge theory. If you go to Vakyapadiyam, again, Adyah Karana Vinyasah Pranastyodham Samiranam Thananam Adhigatascha Navina Shabda Bhavana is again innate knowledge theory only. So right from the origin in Shabda Brahmopasana, there is this innate knowledge theory. The individuals are born with an innate, to use Chomskyan word, language acquisition device. He calls it LAD. So an acquisition device, not just language, all the artistic aspects. There is an acquisition device with which individuals are born. So among psychologists also, you have Jung, who is the rationalist or naturalist, comes with an innate theory of collective unconscious or archetypes. So this innateness is the paradigm with which he is going. That is why, because it is innate, you have to have pratyabhijna, re-recognition. You are born with it. So that re-recognition, pratyabhijna, is taking the form of abhivyaktivada when it comes to Rasa Nishpatti. So we can actually take this whole line of argument from where it actually goes, from pratyabhijna, Ishvara pratyabhijna, from actually we can even show where para and apara are getting located within Abhinava Bharati in the Rasa Nishpatti Sutra. For example, in Shantarasa theory also, his explanation of Shantarasa, we can show actually there he is taking the same consistent argument everywhere and creating a robust framework for multiple shastras from his philosophical system and spiritual practice theory. So that is, in my opinion, is the greatest contribution of Abhinava Gupta, of creating a single paradigm for all the shastras that he covered. Though it appears that he covered multiple shastras, he was doing the same single activity of taking his Trika and Ishvara Pratyabhijna to all his shastras and creating a beautiful, robust, single paradigm for all the disciplines which in contemporary parlance have to be called as humanity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nagaraj Garu. I'm sure that these last few minutes of extremely powerful thought propositions would propel scholars, current and upcoming, to research this at a greater depth and come up with really something which is very worthwhile and add to the knowledge base that we currently have. Thank you so very much. And I do not see any questions, but if any of you have any questions in which, for example, if we move to the next speaker, and if there are questions that you feel are unattended, please feel free to put those in the Q&A, or you could also mail those to us at namaste@indica.org.in, and we'll make sure that we get back to you with the responses. So we'll make sure that the paucity of time does not play a dampener to your curiosity.